Welcome to Coruzant Technologies, home of the Digital Executive Podcast.
Welcome to the Digital Executive. Today's guest is Heather Hakes. Heather Hakes is the coach, author, and podcast host at Heather Hakes, LLC. Heather has been fascinated with psychology and human potential and have been into personal development since she was 15 years old. She's also always been a bit of a rebel, not wanting to follow the crowds. Heather learned about the power of mindset and how to shift paradigms from many teachers along her journey. She knows that a shift in perception will literally change your reality. In 2017, Heather took a huge leap of faith and followed an intuitive nudge. She waved goodbye to the corporate world, knowing that there had to be a better reality. She couldn't fathom dreading Monday and cheering on Friday for the rest of her life. Well, good afternoon, Heather. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely exciting to do this. I love talking to many new people across the globe, 40 countries and counting now. So thank you, Heather. And Heather, we're going to jump directly into the questions so we can get your story going. Let's talk about your career a little bit. You've got an interesting background for sure from your corporate tenure, and now you are an entrepreneur. You moved into that space. Could you share with our audience the secret to your career growth and what inspires you?
Sure. So a little background, I did what I feel we're conditioned to do. I went to college, I got a degree, then I got another degree. I worked in corporate for 10 years. And ultimately, I just had this intuitive nudge, this pull that, living life on a hamster wheel wasn't for me. And so ultimately in 2017, I took a huge leap of faith. I had no plan, but I just knew I needed a break. It was almost kind of like that, wanting to find my passion and purpose. Do you know what I mean? So I quit corporate, ended up with a 6-figure payout, which I definitely have a spiritual background. And that's what I believe. And I got to experience jump and let the net appear, that the universe always has your back. And so ultimately that has led me into where I'm at today. I also have a podcast. I do online coaching and author of Take the Leap. And what inspires me is one, connecting with you like we're doing today. I get to speak with people all over the world, but really it's about working with clients and corporate and helping people remember like the power you truly have, that we're living from such small, limited perspectives, and there's so much more available to us.
Thank you for sharing. And you're right. We do have a purpose in life, and helping others is really what helps us, I guess, get ahead in life, make us feel better, but also helping the world is not such a bad thing, right? So I appreciate the share on that. And Heather, talk to us. This is important because our audience would like to know a little bit more about you, but could you tell us more about that moment of truth when you decided to take the chance on yourself and jumped all into being this full-time entrepreneur?
I didn't plan where I'm at today. And I complained to my parents through much of my 20s that, I just felt like I was going through life's motions. And through my corporate year, I had worked with 3 different companies. And no matter what job I got, at some point I got bored and just felt like I was going through the motions. And I really just had this yearning that I was meant for more. I was supposed to be doing something else. I wanted something fulfilling. And it took me months to get to that point. I wasn't following that intuitive nudge. I didn't trust. Of course, there's a lot of fear of leaving, quote, stability and a paycheck, but I also just decided that it was worth trying. So really what I did is I talked myself into it. I realized, worst case scenario, leave my job, go travel and figure out what lit me up. And if it didn't work out, I could always get another job. So that's how I talked myself into it.
Wow, that's awesome. You've got kind of that plan B, but as some historians talk about, where Alexander the Great, I think, is one example where they just burn their ships, right? And they're going to go to battle knowing that there is no way out of this. But I love the story. Definitely love it. Heather, let's talk a little bit about tech, since we are a technology platform. Are you leveraging any new or emerging technologies within your consulting business? And maybe not. Do you just found a cool tool or app you might be able to share with us?
I'm not in the tech space. All I could share is a few months ago, I ended up changing platforms, and I'm working with a new tech guy because my tech stack was through the roof. I was using tons of different platforms, trying to run my online coaching business. And I found literally a one-stop shop that is doing everything, automation, and it gives me more time and leverage to do what I like to do, which is creating content.
Thank you for sharing. Appreciate that. And you're right. You need to find some efficiency, especially if you're a solopreneur, right? So
Yes.
definitely appreciate the share on that. And Heather, this is the last question. Could you share something from your career experience that might be helpful for those looking to grow their career in business or entrepreneurship?
Well, I guess this is a question I ask guests on my podcast, and it's what advice would you give your younger self? The big thing is entrepreneurship is not for everyone, but for those that have, I wear many different hats. I'm in sales, I'm tech, I'm marketing, I'm administrative, I'm the content creator. And for me, it really has been personal development on steroids. The big thing in business is everybody talks about strategy and your business plan, but I've realized the importance of the 80-20 rule, which is any success in life is derived from 80% psychology or your mindset and only 20% strategy. Because I found out early on in my career, I spent a lot of money building a website and all the tech and having strategy, but I didn't deal with my self-doubt and imposter syndrome and procrastination. So I had all the strategy in place, but I didn't have the belief, the clarity, the confidence behind it. And until I dealt with that, then you put the strategy in place. So that's the advice I would give for any entrepreneur. If you've seen that meme, it's not a straight line. It's curves and up and down. And there are days you're going to feel in the zone and on fire. And there are days you may not feel motivated and disciplined to do it. It really comes down to having that stronger why. And for me, it's not about me. It's inspiring and empowering others. So that is my driver.
Thank you. And that's very helpful because there are things that come up every day in our lives that just really take us off course. And having that discipline and having the why that'll get you through that to follow up through your commitment is so important. So I appreciate the share. And Heather, it was a pleasure having you on today, and I look forward to speaking with you real soon.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Bye for now.